Welcome to day 2 of the Wealth Mindset Hack. Who is ready for a powerful day? Turn your cameras on, everybody, and let me know where your energy is. Where's your energy? Where's your frequency? Where's your state? Yesterday, we talked about the power of our state to attract and create prosperity and wealth. Let's get these chats going. How are you feeling this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world? Let's see. Uplifted. Great. Awesome. Fantastic. So yesterday was day 1, and we talked about the power of decision, the power of standards. We went into questions, and we heard from the amazing Brian Tracy, who shared laws, how important clarity is, how important focus is. And that means that you're in the right place at the right time to go even deeper today. Yes? Awesome. So good to see you, Carol, Lorna, Jim, everyone. Welcome. I'd love to begin by spinning the wheel. What do you think? Who's feeling inspired, excited, ready to win some amazing prizes? Here's the deal. You got to have your camera on in order to be picked to spin the wheel. So make sure your cameras are on so I can see your radiant, luminous, smiling faces. And let me take a look. Who in the room has been in a course with me before? If you've been with me before, this isn't your first time, raise your hand so we could all see you. Okay, awesome. Who's been in an advanced course before where you've been in a total immersion multi-day experience and you've gotten a lot of value, you're back for more? Awesome. Well, welcome back. Wonderful being with you. Who's here for the first time in Wealth Mindset Hack? This is your first event with me. Let me take a look by show of hands. Awesome. Okay, so I am going to pick a few people today to spin the wheel, and we've got some amazing prizes. Our grand prize, which I'm going to talk about at the end of today, is Neogenesis. This is a immersive, transformational experience to release whatever's been blocking you emotionally, your beliefs, from the root cause, and be liberated to align your core values with your authentic highest self. So that is our grand prize. It's a $5,000 course. We do have specials that we're going to talk about at the end of today. And I'm going to pick somebody who would like to spin the wheel. Let's see where your enthusiasm is in your body. If you'd like to spin the wheel, show me with your body temple. Let's pick Jamie. Jamie Vitz-Thum. Hey, Jamie, are you ready? Okay, here we go. So let me tell you what else is on here. So we spun the wheel yesterday in the VIP room, and someone won Quantum Leap Your Business in Life, which is our other total immersion 2-day course that is happening at the end of July. Somebody won it yesterday. And then on here, there's also Niurka Bucks. Niurka Bucks, there's $500 Niurka Bucks, $250 Niurka Bucks. That's money that can be applied towards any course or experience that we have. And then there are digital products that are also on the wheel. So you ready, Jamie? Give Jamie a drum roll. Here we go. It's the power of the mind, Jamie, power of intention. You get 250 Niurka Bucks to apply to whatever you desire. Who else would like to spin the wheel? Let's do one more, and then we'll do more towards the end of the day. Let's pick Lori Smith. She's raising her hand. She's cheering. Lori, you feeling lucky? Give Lori some love and a drum roll. Here we go. Lori wins $500 Niurka Bucks to go to any course that you can apply that to. So here's the deal. We will be spinning the wheel again before the end of the day. As long as you remind me and your cameras are on and we see enthusiasm in the house is the criteria. So how was yesterday? How many of you experienced breakthroughs, insights, aha moments? If you experienced breakthroughs yesterday, put a B in the chats so we can celebrate those breakthroughs. And I'm going to hit the gong in celebration of the breakthroughs, because as you acknowledge breakthroughs, you're sending a message to your subconscious mind that there's evolution happening, which creates momentum for even more of that. And yesterday, in the VIP, we also gave some soul work. How many of you were in the VIP room and you did the soul work that was assigned last night? How was that? Put it in the chats if you'd like to share with everyone in 1 or 2 words. How was your experience doing those questions? They're called quantum linguistic questions. So today we're going to go deeper into understanding the workings of the subconscious mind. How many of you can tell that there's something deeper that's driving your actions? Who can tell that there's something deeper that's driving your behaviors? We're going to explore that. We're going to go into that. Okay. Now, before we do, let's do this for a moment. Sit up tall in your chair, everyone. Elongate your spine to the heavens. Open up the heart center and allow yourself to feel lifted. So you feel like a sense of expansion in your body. And I'm just going to play a little bit of music while I guide you to begin to see in consciousness the wealthy, abundant, and prosperous life that you intend to live. So sit up tall in your chair, elongate your spine, just gently close your eyes or do a soft gaze and inhale a deep, cleansing, rejuvenating breath. A deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you could just exhale the sound, ah. That's right. Inhale another deep, rejuvenating, and cleansing breath. And as you exhale, just exhale the sound of ah. It's the sound of the heart. And notice how easily, feeling the sense of expansion in your body, your eyes are closed, and maybe a smile on your face. Notice how easily you can imagine the lifestyle, the wealthy lifestyle that you intend to live as it's happening, as if it's happening right now in consciousness. Just notice how easily you can see yourself living the abundant, prosperous, wealthy life. Where are you in this space? Just notice yourself walking through your home or your creative space and allow the colors to be rich and bright and crisp and clear, and see it happening in your mind's eye right now, even greater than you can ever imagine. Notice how it feels to be in this space, and allow the feeling to amplify from your heart center, expanding out as you're walking confidently in your wealthy life. Notice what you see. Where are you going? Are you traveling the world? Are you going into your creative space? And just imagine and see it happening right now in consciousness as you make the colors bigger and brighter, crisper and clear. And if you're traveling the world, allow yourself to go travel on this luxurious, epic journey right now. And see, hear, and feel the experiences that you're having, and allow them to become even bigger and brighter and crisper and clear and even more rich as you inhale a deep, cleansing breath in. Who are you celebrating with? Imagine the people in your life celebrating in love, triumphant success and victories. And see, hear, and feel yourself celebrating with your loved ones, your team, the people in your life, everyone you care about. Who are you serving in this space of abundant wealth living? See, hear, and feel yourself serving your community, your clients, the people in your life, serving in a way that elevates their life, creates value and beauty and prosperity. And notice how that feels. And now see, hear, and feel your health vibrant, radiant, health and vitality, strength in your body temple, wealth in your body. Feel the wealth expanding in all directions: health, relationships, lifestyle, money, contribution, your spiritual essence and connection with all that is. And notice how good it feels. Because on the count of 3, we're going to double the good feelings, allowing them to expand from the infinite center of your heart. 1, getting ready to double it. 2, feeling the amazing feelings. And right now, 3, double it. Yes, inhale it in. Breathe in wealth. Take a whiff. And now imagine in the moment of now that you're at a celebration dinner, celebrating with your loved ones, a victory of fulfillment, of prosperity and abundance right here, right now. You are at the celebration dinner. And in a moment, you will toast to the victories and triumphs, lifting your glass in your mind's eye up to the heavens, and you toast with a smile upon your face and take a sip of this sacred drink. What are you drinking in celebration of this wealthy, abundant living? Hear the laughter and the joy of everyone present, celebrating together in love and connection and community. And now take a bite, your first bite of the celebration dinner. Notice what is on the table, this bounty, this incredible bounty of abundance on the table. And take your first bite and feel the nourishment in your mouth as you enjoy this sacred bite in celebration. And notice how it feels. Inhale the moment, breathe it in. Take a big inhale. And now allow this to expand infinitely in all directions. No boundaries, happening right here, right now. And on the count of 3, inhale a deep cleansing breath, anchoring this eternal moment, this beautiful memory, anchoring in the infinite center within your heart's temple. Inhaling a deep breath in. Pausing between the breaths, honoring the space between the breaths. Feeling this integrating within every cell of your body, in the infinite center of your heart, in the depth of your soul. And exhale, And as you exhale, feel that sense of expansion. Inhale another deep, cleansing breath. And then honoring the space between the breaths, the infinite silent stillness in the space. And as you exhale, feel a sense of expansion within every cell of your being. Slow, long exhalation. And now inhale another deep, cleansing and rejuvenating breath. Honoring the infinite, still, silent space. feeling an expansion within every cell of your being. As you exhale, the sound of the heart. And you declare, so it is. So it is. So put a smile on your face, the smile of love, and bring your hands up to your heart center and feel into the beating of your heart. Your beautiful heart, your wise and courageous heart, your loving heart, your brilliant and powerful heart, your kind and generous heart. And say your name out loud so you could hear the frequency of your name. And say, I love you. I love you. Feel into the beating of your heart. And say your name out loud. And say, I am prosperous, peaceful, and powerful. Inhale another deep breath in. And when you're ready, begin to open your eyes and give your heart a little love pat. Give the top of your head a little pat so you can scratch the top of your head. Give the space between your eyebrows a little pat. And as you give the space between your eyebrows a little pat, say, I see with enlightened eyes. Declare it. I see through the wisdom of my highest self. Declare it. I see through the wisdom of my wealthy, abundant self right here, right now. Tap your heart and say, my heart is open. Say, I experience through the wisdom of a wise and enlightened heart, an abundant and generous heart. And then give yourself a little hug. Okay, and open your eyes and give yourself a little pat so you feel this nice, juicy love pat from your higher self, integrating within every cell of your being. And then shake your body for a moment and bring all of your attention, all of your awareness, all of your love, all of your presence, all of your gratitude, all of your power back into this sacred moment. And share with me, how y'all feeling? Share with me in the chats, how you feeling? Let's get those chats going. Make sure your cameras are on because we're going to take a class photo of our Wealth Mindset Hack 2025, okay? Saying good, connected, energized, dynamic, yummy, peaceful, great, light, love, good. I love it. All right, everyone. So here's the deal. I want to see your wealthy enthusiasm. Can you all show me your wealthy enthusiasm, what that looks like? That means hands up, smiles on. Show your wealthy enthusiasm because we're going to do a post later today. We're going to encourage you all to go celebrate so the rest of the world can tap in to the amazing things that are happening here. Ready? Let's do it. Oh, let's do it again. All right. So by this time next year, we're going to look at this photo and we're going to remember where you were at this time in the journey and where you're going to be a year from now as you continue the journey integrating everything that's happening right here, right now. So what I'd love to do right now is share with you a teaching about the different levels in which you could experience a breakthrough, in which you could experience a major quantum leap in your business, in your life, in your wealth, in your prosperity, in any area. Because sometimes there's things that are blocking people in wealth that are other areas of life. For example, if somebody's navigating health challenges or they're not feeling comfortable in their own body, is that going to impact their wealth? Yes or no? It totally is. So it's really about being mindful about what's been up for you. So here is, let me bring you up a slide. I got a slide for this, okay? So this slide and these circles represent the different levels in which you could experience a major quantum leap or a major breakthrough. And actually, if you're taking notes, you want to go ahead and draw these circles because I'm going to guide you up to the top, because what goes at the top, all the way in that purple electric violet flame, what goes up at the top is what determines your wealth. What goes at the top is what drives your life. What goes at the top determines what's in your bank account right now. It determines your level of joy, your level of fulfillment, your level of success. What goes at the top determines what you do and what you don't do. What goes at the top is what is driving every aspect of your life, both consciously and subconsciously at the deeper levels. How many of you are seeing those circles for the very first time training with me? Let me take a look. Who's seen them for the first time? Raise your hands. Okay. Who's seen this before? And we're going to go deeper with another level of review. Okay. And remember, repetition, once you're hearing it from a different place and you're seeing it from different angles, this supports the integration. So you're not just learning something intellectually, it's in your neurology. So it becomes a natural action. That's the power of repetition. So first I'm going to ask those who are seeing this for the first time to put it on the chats. What do you think goes at the top of these circles? If what goes at the top of these circles drives your life, what goes at the top? Put it in the chats. What's driving your life? Okay. Aaron says me. Okay. Let's see. Spirit, soul, purpose, God. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people that are believers. And we use the word God in God, and isn't it, and I am, and isn't it interesting that you have individuals that have different experiences of success and prosperity? Okay, so let's take a look at it. So the circle all the way at the bottom, write down the word in your notes, results. So at the bottom is your results. And you could also put next to it the word environment. Now, how many of you came here to the Wealth Mindset Hack because there was something in your environment that you wanted to change? Maybe something in your bank account that you wanted to change, something in your results in business that you wanted to change. Here's the distinction, my dear friends. When you change, the world around you changes. You have that much power. But what a lot of people do is they focus on what's happening externally. Focusing on what's happening externally is like looking at the number on a scale and trying to create transformation there. The scale is the effect of a deeper cause. Yesterday we were talking about the power of cause and effect. Okay? So what's on the scale is the effect of a deeper cause. What determines the number on the scale? Or what determines the number in your bank account? Or what determines the number in your productivity? Or what determines the results that you're getting in your finances, in your business, in your life? What determines those results? Put it in the chats. Okay, worthiness, definitely your how you experience your worthiness is going to influence your actions. The next level is your actions. It's your behaviors, right? The actions that you take, the actions that you don't take, that's what's determining your results. So the next circle up, the bottom circle is results. The next circle up is behaviors. Okay? Your behaviors. What actions are you taking? Now, let me ask you this. How many of you right now know certain behaviors and actions to take to grow your wealth even before you arrived, but you weren't doing it? Who knows some actions that you can take right now to grow your sales? Who knows some actions that you could take right now? You knew them before you arrived to increase your savings. Who knows some actions you can take to be more purposeful with your investments and your savings? Okay, so can we all agree that there are actions that you know you could take that up until a couple days ago you weren't yet taking, even though you knew what to do? True or not true? Okay, so what determines the actions that you take? I mean, this is not just in the areas of wealth. We can apply this to other areas that impact wealth. Who knows what to do right now to have greater health and vitality? Who knows what to do to be leaner, healthier, fitter, have stronger skeletal muscle? Okay? So what determines whether or not you do those actions? It's the next level up. What determines whether or not you do those actions? It's your abilities and capabilities. That's the next level up. Are you capable of doing it? Are you able to do it? The awesome news about our abilities and our capabilities is that they have the power to consistently expand. That's why I think I mentioned to you yesterday the quote from Jim Rohn when I was 19 years old that changed my life, where he said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Continually evolve your skills, continually evolve your mindset. This is a power practice. Haven't you all noticed that you can meet the highest level martial artist on the planet and they still call their martial arts a practice? You can meet the highest level yogi on the planet and they still call their yoga a practice. Why? Because it's not an arrival. It is a never-ending journey, and our capabilities and capacities, here's the awesome news, they don't have boundaries. Our capacities and our capabilities don't have boundaries. There's an infinite potential within you. Who's as excited about that as I am? That there's an infinite potential, and right now that infinite potential has power to expand with greater velocity than ever before because of the rise of AI and how we can begin to collaborate, not depend, but collaborate, co-create with AI. I'm creating things in a matter of hours that used to take me months in the past to create, months. And it's happening in a matter of a few hours, sometimes less than that. So right now we are in the most incredible time in human history for an expansion of skills, expansion of capacity. And how many of you in the past have had some concern or doubts or fears around AI or overwhelm in these areas, or anxiety or overwhelm? Okay, so that's one of the things that I would be honored to support you in releasing any disempowering thoughts or emotions around it, because those are going to block your capabilities. Okay, you want to feel inspired and vigilant about it, like wise and inspired about what's possible, and mindful and vigilant in your integration of this collaboration, of this incredible gift that we have that could expand your capacity in business, in life, in every area, once our mindset is attuned correctly. And we put boundaries around it, and we recognize it as a tool, because that's what it is. We recognize it as a tool for expansion. It can massively accelerate your wealth creation, because it can massively accelerate. How many of you would love to be even more creative in your work? Like be able to create and to do it at a level of excellence with velocity. I love that word, velocity, speed and precision. Speed and precision. So we've got results and environment. We've got behaviors and actions. The third circle is abilities and capabilities with their infinite potential of expansion. What's the next circle up that determines what happens in the circles underneath? Because what's happening in these top circles is influencing everything beneath. And what's happening in the bottom circles are also influencing what's above. There's an integral relationship. When you improve your behaviors, what's on top improves, which I'm about to share with you what's on top. When you improve what's on top, and not just improve this, because it's not incremental improvement. It's like a quantum jump. It's a quantum leap. Okay. What's underneath it automatically improves. So what is the next level up? What do you think determines your level of abilities, capabilities, whether you tap into them or not, whether you focus on expanding them, or whether there's stagnation, overwhelm, procrastination, self-doubt, okay? Or whether you take it and you're like, let's go. What determines the next? You got it, Wendy, there it is. It's your beliefs. The next circle up is your beliefs. What do you believe? Here, I'll bring it up one more time. I'm taking it down because I like you guys. I like to see you. And when I bring up the slides, I see you much smaller. So your capabilities, your beliefs. What do you believe? Prior to arriving at the wealth mindset hack, what did you believe about money? You know, I was in front of a group of 5,000 people when I was on tour with Tony Robbins, and I said this to 5,000 people, and I'm going to ask you the same question, and I'm going to have you respond in the chats. So I'm on stage, 5,000 people, and I said to them, okay, in a moment I'm going to make a statement, And I'm going to invite you all to answer it with the first thing that comes to mind. You could answer it any way you like. Just answer with the first thing that comes to mind. And in front of 5,000 people, I said, and I'm asking you right now, so put it in the chats, I go, money is the root of all. And all of a sudden, I saw, see, you guys are getting the learning ahead of time. You're like, wait a minute, I've been in class before. I'm not falling for that one. I heard 5,000 people who were watching me for the first time literally shout back evil. Now, I know that we know that's not true, but how many of you, even if you didn't say evil, you said possibility or freedom or love or something like that, how many of you, evil did come into consciousness, you just didn't choose that? But how many of you, the word came into consciousness? So, and it's likely that that's the one you learned first before you reframed it, okay? Before you realize, like, the conscious mind goes, wait a minute, that's not true. That doesn't even make sense. And that's not even the quote. The quote is for the love of money, right? So that's the quote. But here's the point, is that if there's something in the subconscious that anchors money to limitation or stress or struggle or hard or not enoughness, do you think that impacts your ability to create and attract prosperity? Yes or no? Whose experience with money an energy that is almost like taking one step forward or taking two steps back? Has anybody experienced that? Okay, almost like it comes in waves, or one of the things we talk about is roller coaster results. Would it be valuable for me to share with you today the root cause, the root of what creates roller coaster results in the areas of wealth? Okay, we're going to talk about that. So your beliefs about money, your beliefs about yourself, your beliefs about your worth, okay? Your self-worth, your beliefs about your value, the value that you bring, your worthiness. These influence your ability to create and attract prosperity. The amount of money that you are commanding right now in the marketplace is in direct reflection to your own perception of your worthiness. The moment that you increase your deservability, what you believe and know in your heart, not just your conscious mind. How many of you have ever felt like there's a incongruence between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind? Who's felt that? Like the conscious mind's like, oh yeah, I deserve it, I'm great. But the subconscious mind's like, hey, wait a minute, who are you kidding? Has anybody ever had something like that? And it's like there's this incongruency. Well, that takes your life force energy. That costs, there's a cost to that. So there is a way, there is a strategy to bring that incongruence out of the shadows and into the light. And one of the things I could assure you, I've been guiding these experiences since my early 20s, for over half my life. There's a gift buried in your greatest challenge. There is an amazing, epic learning. A learning for yourself and your future. A learning that once integrated empowers you to release what isn't serving you and move forward with greater ease and grace. And of course, there's going to be challenges along the way, but your perception of these challenges is different. You don't recognize them as failure. You recognize them as feedback. And you integrate the feedback and you continually grow. How awesome is that? So our beliefs determine how we expand our capabilities. They determine our actions. And there's so many epic stories of people that have broken beliefs. One of the first stories I used to share when I first met Brian and when I first started working with Tony and I was doing presentations all over the US was I would share the story of Roger Bannister. This is like a classic belief system story. Who knows the story of Roger Bannister? Put a yes in the comments. If you don't know the story of Roger Bannister, put a no in the comments. I'm curious, okay? So Roger Bannister, some say no. Okay, so Roger Bannister is the first person in human history to break the 4-minute mile, to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. This is back in the 50s. Now, at the time, the belief was that it was impossible to do it. As a matter of fact, doctors even said it's impossible. The human heart will explode inside the chest cavity if exerted to that rate. That was the belief. And then all of a sudden, Roger Bannister breaks his 4-minute mile. But what a lot of people don't know is that he visualized it in his mind. He studied, he practiced, he made a plan, he created a strategy, and he envisioned himself creating these results in consciousness first. And then all of a sudden, I think it was 1954, he breaks the 4-minute mile. And guess what happened right after that? Other people started breaking it all over the world. All of a sudden, someone goes, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. And it just opened up a realm of possibility. So this is the same with neuroscience. There was a belief before that if somebody had this type of mental condition, they were just wired that way. We needed to medicate them or give them a lobotomy. Can you believe there was times where they gave people lobotomies? They're like, yeah, we're going to fix that with some cold steel. Crazy. Now we know that there's a science called neuroplasticity. And what neuroplasticity teaches us is that we can interrupt neural pathways that don't serve you. How many of you can tap into some neural pathways that have been, and you guys know what I mean by neural pathway, right? It's like your brain is used to going in that direction over and over and over again, over and over and over again. Who has repeated neural pathways of self-doubt before this event? Who's repeated neural pathways of procrastination? Who's repeated neural pathways of overwhelm? Who's repeated neural pathways of anxiety or fear or any other type of negative emotion or limiting belief? If you say all the time, here's the first question I have for you. And this is a question I really ask when we go deep into the transformational experience in our courses is, are you ready to let it go? Are you ready to let go of that old pattern? Are you ready to let go of that old procrastination, that old stress, overwhelm, not enoughness, not feeling enough? Are you ready to let it go? Right here and right now, within every cell of your being, to be fully liberated of it and to be fully aware of it consciously. Now, here's my next question. Does any part of you object? We talked about that in the VIP yesterday, because sometimes I ask people this question. Look at me. Look at my physiology. Sometimes I ask people this question. Are you ready to let it go? They're like, yes. I'm like, does any part of you object? They're like, no. And all of a sudden I can tell it's like a part of them is saying yes and a part of them is saying no. Here's why. We're going to talk about this today. The subconscious mind. At Neogenesis, I do an entire teaching called the prime directives of the subconscious mind. I'm going to give a few of them to you here today. We don't have time to go into all of them, but I'm going to share with you how you could receive all of them, because it's important to realize most of your behavior is subconscious. Most of your behavior is autopilot. This is just a scientific fact. So what we want to do is we want to update the software of the subconscious mind. Just like you update software in a computer. What happens if you don't update the software in a computer? It crashes, it burns, it goes slow, okay? All right, so we're going to get to some more insights on the subconscious in a moment. Now we're going through the circles. We've got results and environment at the bottom. We've got behaviors and actions. Above that, we've got abilities and capabilities. Above that, we've got beliefs as the next circle. What determines your beliefs? And they're integral. The next circle and beliefs are kind of like this. They're integrated. Put in the chats. What determines it? Boy, some of you guys have been in class with me before and you're doing a great job with your review. It's your core values. Your core values. And here's the deal about core values. I'm going to share with you quite a bit about core values today. And I'm going to go even deeper into them in the VIP room. Your core values are driving your life, and core values can be conscious or unconscious. And a lot of times, the core values that are driving your life are not what you think they are. Someone may think that their core values are like love and integrity and compassion, but then you look at their results. The way that you know what someone's core values are, and I'm going to start preparing for the next teaching. The way you know what someone's core values are is by looking at their results. Let me ask you this. If you can transform one area of your life right now, like we talked about the magic wand yesterday. If you could wave a magic wand and one area of your life quantum leaps into the fulfillment of your grandest vision, What is that area? I mean, here we're talking about wealth, we're talking about prosperity, we're talking about finances. It might be a different area that's affecting that. What would it be? If you could transform one area of your life, put it in the chats. It might be money, making more money, finances, okay? But your mission. Okay, let me give you a few categories that all affect wealth. Wealth, money, finances, your life's purpose. How about that? Sometimes a person isn't clear on their purpose. They're not clear on their direction. We talked about that yesterday. It was Brian's first law, clarity, the definite chief aim. If you're not clear on that, how are you going to create wealth when you're not clear on the vehicle in which you're going to solve problems, contribute value? Okay? And how many of you are health? Because when your health isn't on point, if someone's feeling sluggish, or if they're being overweight, or if they're feeling that they're not their best in their own body, that is going to affect their health and wealth. Actually, I would, if somebody's having challenges with their health and their physical body, I would pick that as the first area to work on. So in a moment, I'm going to guide you through uncovering what is driving your results at a deeper level. We're going to take these circles to the next level in a moment, not just yet. So your core values goes above your beliefs. And what determines and influences your core values? What's determining the core values that are driving your life? The circle right above that, it's your identity. You've got it. It's your identity. It's the way that you answer the question, who am I? Who am I? In your quiet moments with you and you. The way that you answer the question, who am I, determines your actions, determines your beliefs. It determines what you do first thing in the morning. It determines what you do before you go to bed. It determines the people you pick up the phone and call. It determines your level of confidence. It determines your level of consistent, focused, purposeful action or procrastination. Who are you, my friends? The way you answer this question drives your life. Here's a teaching. What do you speak after the words I am? How many of you have been speaking some things that are not in alignment with your highest self? Who's been saying things like, I'm so tired, I'm so burnt out, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so stuck, or I'm so challenged with this particular thing? And has the pendulum been swinging? Yesterday we talked about creating as you speak. The word I am is an invocation. It is an invocation. Whatever you speak after these words will come find you. Someone says, oh my gosh, I'm so fat. Fat will come find you. Someone says, oh my gosh, I'm so broke. I'm so struggling. Broke will come find you. So be mindful of these words. And I'm not talking about cheesy positive thinking, like you stand in front of the mirror. Tony used to say this, and you go, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. But deep down, you don't feel it. I'm talking about, that's the power of questions, by the way. We're going to go deep into advanced techniques on the power of questions at Quantum Leap Your Business and Life. Because by asking yourself high vibrational questions, by asking yourself expansive questions rather than contracted questions, you open the gates for your dreams to become your reality. So what a lot of people do in life when they think about money, they think about making money, here's their logic. They think to themselves, I want to have more. I want to have more money. I want to have more success. I want to have this home of my dreams and travel the way I want to travel it. I want to have, these particular material things. It's because when I have those things, then I can do all the things I want to do. I can travel luxuriously. I can buy the things I want to buy. And when I'm able to do that, then I'll be who I really want to be. But who can see that this is backwards thinking over here? This is totally backwards. What the highest expression of you begins with, who am I truly, who am I really in the embodiment of my highest self? Who am I being when I'm being in attunement and in alignment with the highest that is within me? My highest purpose, my highest contribution, my highest vision, the grandest vision that I have for my life. And yesterday we talked about vision. Tell me in the chats, how many of you know that there's another level of clarity, another level of expansion, another level of attunement for your vision, your purpose, your mission, your definite chief aim? If you know there's another level, put yes. If you feel like you've got it and it's already at a level 10, you can say, I got it. But if you know there's another level, and here's the deal, there's always another level because your capacity is infinite. So the attunement for wealth is beginning with, who am I being? Who am I committed to be? Who am I inspired to be? Who am I committed to become? And from this space of attunement into your highest self, what are you going to do? What actions are you going to take? See, these circles, and then from there, you're going to have the things that you want to have. But the havingness becomes an effect of being in alignment with your highest expression of who you are at the highest level of excellence, which is never static. It is always growing, evolving. Because where you are today is at a different place than where you were when we first met. For those of us that have been here for a while. And those of us that are meeting for the first time in the Wealth Mindset Hack, where you are now is different from where you were a year from now. Okay. So the awesome thing about this particular teaching is that you can impact it from all levels. In other words, when you take action at the level of behaviors, it starts giving you more confidence in your beliefs. Right? You start taking action, it gives you more confidence. When you activate and step into your most empowered identity, that's the awesome thing about the higher circles. When you step into your most empowered identity, it automatically impacts everything beneath it. It's like you've just, set the dominoes in action towards fulfilling your highest purpose. Now, at the end of today, I'm going to share with you the next level of what we have available for you, which is, I gave you the dates yesterday, Quantum Leap Your Business and Life, which is happening at the end of July, and then Neogenesis, which is happening in November. And I'll share with you the difference between them. The difference between them is Quantum Leap Your Business and Life is going to give you tools for those bottom circles that are going to automatically impact the higher circles, and it's going to start to enter into the realm of beliefs. For example, at Quantum Leap Your Business and Life, I'm going to guide you to release self-doubt, to release overwhelm, to release procrastination. How many of you can tell that self-doubt, overwhelm, and procrastination is different than a belief like I'm not good enough? Who can tell that one of them is a lot deeper? Like I'm not good enough is a deeper root cause than overwhelm and self-doubt. Can you guys sense that? Okay, so Neogenesis is going to go all the way to the deepest. The deepest being this notion of I'm not enough, I don't have enough, I'm not good enough, fear, limiting beliefs, negative emotions. We're going to talk more about it in a moment. Okay, so let's understand the root cause of the problem. So how many of you know we've been programmed? Who knows we've been programmed? Okay. Most psychologists agree that by the time before a child is 7 years old, they've received over 25,000 hours of linguistic programming alone. This is words that were downloaded into our mind, but it's not just the words, it's the imagery, it's the feelings. How many of you can tell that you've received some programming from the early stages of childhood that did not serve you? I did. That's why I got into this business. I actually got into this business because I had so much, it's not even this business, this field of transformation, this realm of personal empowerment and transformation, because I was programmed. My parents had immigrated to the United States from Cuba. I was first generation born. They had a lot of fears This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. Girls couldn't do things that boys could do. And there was all kinds of different ideas. And that conflicted with the sense of my own soul. So I grew up feeling, anybody can relate to that? Like feeling inner conflict, feeling like I was meant for more, but something was holding me back. I was meant for more, but something was holding me back. So I got very curious. Can you guys get curious with me and like lean in like this? Curiosity is very powerful, okay? Because as you get curious and you lean in, you start to open to possibilities rather than just contracting into an old way of being. Well, here's what scientists and psychologists and leading experts say, is that from ages of 0, and I would venture to say even before that, because being in the womb begins to develop the child, and even before that, ancestral DNA, and we can get into those details if we have enough time. Psychologists say from 0 to 7 is the imprinting stages. You could write that in your notes. That's the imprinting stages. And what happens between 0 and 7 is that the conscious mind has not developed. So the conscious mind, there's a difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is more analytical. The conscious mind is more objective. So the conscious mind hasn't developed to say, hey, that's not true. That's your stuff, not mine. Don't project your limiting beliefs onto me. The child hasn't gotten to that level of consciousness yet. So here's a few of the prime directives of the subconscious mind. I'm just going to share some of them with you. I'm going to give them all to you at Neogenesis, okay? The subconscious mind is amenable to suggestion. It's receptive. It's always listening. Okay? So because it's amenable to suggestion, if all of a sudden a child that's 3 years old hears, be quiet, shut up, go sit over there, you're just a kid, you don't know any better, and the child hears something that you're not enough, you're not worthy, you're not valuable, okay? I had a client that came to me many years ago, graduated from Neogenesis, huge breakthroughs. And one of the things, here's another prime directive of the subconscious mind, is it represses memories with negative emotion until you're ready to deal with it. And when you're ready to deal with it, it presents it for resolution. And the most common reason why it represses memories with negative emotion is for the purpose of protection. So the subconscious mind's prime directive is survival. That's its number one prime directive, survival. Now, is survival different than thriving? Now, think about this. If most of your behavior is subconscious, is on autopilot, and the conscious mind wants to thrive, right? Wants to succeed, wants to build wealth, wants to have abundance, wants to have prosperity, but the subconscious mind is programmed for survival. Can you guys see how that can create an inner conflict? Of 1 step forward, 2 step backwards? Like the person goes out to shine and then something inside goes, what if it's not safe? What if I get hurt? What if I get embarrassed? What if I get turned down? What if I get rejected? And all of a sudden they want to expand, but they contract. Have you been there? Okay. So, I was about to tell you a story and I lost my story. It'll come back to me. So it'll come back. So the 0 to 7 is the imprinting stages. Okay. Yeah, some of that can get easier with age as long as there's awareness. Awareness is the first step to transformation. Awareness is the first step. Okay. So the subconscious mind is amenable to suggestion. And it works, here's another big prime directive. It works on the process of deductive reasoning. What does that mean? That means, let's say this is your timeline. One of the things I do at Neogenesis is I guide you to elicit your timeline. Okay? The subconscious mind is the storehouse of memories. Every memory you've ever had, whether you remember it or not, is stored in the subconscious. Okay. And there's a timeline. Now, it's not linear like this, but for the purpose of this conversation, let's create a line and have it be linear. Okay. Let's say this is the age of 7, so these are the imprinting stages of childhood. If there was a belief coded, okay, Let's say at the age of 3 or 4, something happened. I remember a lady was sitting in a class one time and all of a sudden she has this memory come up. She had not remembered this memory at all until the moment of being Neogenesis day 3. Boom, this memory comes up, vivid in color. Because the subconscious mind will present memories for resolution when you're ready. Okay? So all of a sudden she's at the toy store with her mom. And she can remember that the one thing she wants is she wants this Hello Kitty bike for Christmas with the big banana seat. And she says to her mom, Mommy, this is the only thing I want for Christmas. I really want just this one bike. Can I please have this bike? And the mom keeps walking around the store, not paying attention to her. Mommy, can I please? This is the only thing I want. I just want this one thing, please. I just really want this one thing. And the mom is ignoring her. And then all of a sudden she asked a third time and the mother snapped and turned back to her and said, "Stop it!" in an angry tone. Stop it. Money doesn't grow on trees. You got to work hard to make money. So in that moment, with the resources of a child, remember, the conscious mind hasn't developed. The subconscious mind is amenable to suggestion. It's always listening. In that moment, the first thing that arises within the child is emotions. That's the first thing that arises. Now, if the child is not safe to feel those emotions, what emotions do you think would arise based on this story? Put it in the chats. What emotions? It could be anger. It could be fear. It could be guilt. It could be shame. These are the densest emotions. It could be sadness. Actually, those are the densest emotions. Anger, sadness, fear, guilt, shame, and hurt. Those are the root cause. And then from there, we have other emotions. How many of you can see from this conversation that things like doubt are more surface level than the emotions I'm talking about right now? Can you recognize that? Okay. So let's say in that moment, the child's not safe to feel. Let's say she's, I don't know how old she was, maybe 6 years old. Okay. So if it might be over here. Okay. In that moment, what happens is emotions become repressed. In other words, the emotion, if the child isn't safe to feel, the emotions get pushed down they get pushed down into the subconscious. That's literally what the word subconscious means, beneath consciousness. In that moment, while the emotions become repressed, something happens simultaneously. Beliefs are formed and decisions are made. And they're made in the mind of a child. So for example, the decision might be it's hard. Money is hard. Or the decision might be, I've seen children that grew up in environments where they saw money tear their family apart. And all of a sudden they created the belief that money ruins relationships. Okay? Because they saw their parents fighting over money. Let's say a similar example. If a child sees their parents fighting over money, the child could feel hurt. They could feel sad. They could feel fear, but they push those emotions down and then they make a decision. Money destroys relationships. But they say it in the language of a child. So then they say, I'm not going to. So without realizing it, they start moving away from money without realizing it because of this root cause belief. Is anybody having any breakthroughs around this conversation? If you are, you can put some B's in the chats just to acknowledge them, because this is the deeper level stuff. See, a lot of courses you're going to go and they're going to teach you how to make money with certain techniques and tools and strategies. But the bottom line is, this is the ultimate cause of what is driving your wealth blueprint. This is the wealth blueprint. Because once there's empowering emotions and empowering beliefs and empowering decisions, you go find the strategies easily. The strategies are not hard to find. They're everywhere. So what makes us different, what makes me different, and what makes our company different is that we guide you to effectively communicate with your own subconscious mind. We create a totally safe space that allows you to go into the archives of the unconscious and bring things that are blocking you into consciousness. And that is a game changer. So zero, that transforms everything. And it transforms everything at the root. At the root. So 0 to 7. And how many of you have kids that are under the age of 7? And let me start with this. Who has kids under the age of 7? If you have kids under the age of 7, they are in the imprinting stages right now. No pressure. Okay. So they're in the imprinting stages right now. And they are amenable to suggestion. How many of you have ever seen your kids all of a sudden mimic you back to yourself? They become your greatest teachers. So 8 to 13, as experts say, is the modeling period, just so you have this knowledge. And then 14 to 21 is the socialization period. So can we all agree that we've been programmed? Okay. Here's the awesome news. Even though we've been programmed, and there may be a combination of empowering beliefs that you were programmed with and disempowering, okay? The awesome news is even though you've been programmed, you are, and we all are, meta-programmable. We are meta-programmable. And what that means is that you can step outside of old patterns of lack, limitations, scarcity, not enoughness. You could step outside of these and you could observe them from an expanded state of awareness. You can observe them through the wisdom of your highest self. Now, this is not easy to do by yourself because these patterns have been stored subconsciously. So attempting to consciously guide yourself to release a subconscious pattern requires such a high level of mastery. It's very, very, very difficult to do. The best way to do it is to come into a container that supports this evolution, and it's a safe space for you to relax into the experience and allow yourself to be guided. So what happens when you're guiding to release these obstructions? Like, share with me one of them. Like, if you could release anything, if I could guide you to release anything at the deepest level, what would it be? It's usually a negative emotion, a limiting belief, and then these limiting decisions are linked to the beliefs. Let me give you examples of limiting decisions. Limiting decisions are like, I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to hold back. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to hide. Anybody else have an example of that? So these decisions are made, again, in the language of a child, okay? So there is a process, and for those of you that are on VIP, this infographic here, this diagram is in your dashboard. So we're including these in your dashboard. When I guide you through a transformational experience, and I'm going to be doing this both at Quantum Leap Your Business in Life, and I'm going to be doing it at Neogenesis at different levels. Okay, like at Quantum Leap Your Business in Life, we're going to do it with releasing self-doubt, releasing procrastination, releasing overwhelm. At Neogenesis, we're going to do it releasing the root cause negative emotions, fear, sadness, guilt, shame, not good enough, not worthy, unworthiness. That's a deeper level, okay? The first step is eliciting the old map of the world. So if you were to share with me in the chats, what word describes the old map of the world, the map that you'd like to dissolve? What is that old map of the world? Describe it in the chats. Is it the first thing that comes to mind? Okay, there you go, scary. See, I'm happy someone said scary because scary is different than fear. In other words, a child may have experienced scary before they conceptualized fear. So scary might be deeper in the psyche. Who can sense that? That for a child, that being scary might be more activated, and then fear got learned a little later on. Does that make logical sense? Okay. So what happens when I guide you through the transformational process, the first thing I do is I guide you to elicit the old map of the world, to bring the old map out of the subconscious into consciousness. That's the first step. The second step is I guide you to begin to loosen the boundaries of that old map of the world, where before the person may have been stuck in that old state. Like, how many of you have had unworthiness come up as a issue that has been like a theme, or doubt come up as a theme? Has anybody had that happen? And sometimes you don't want to tell other people, right? This is like my little secret, so I pretend that I'm confident, I pretend that everything else is fine, but deep down when I go into my quiet place, this is what's up. Can anybody relate to that? So the first step is, and we pretend like it's not happening, right? So a lot of times people pretend, try to look good and try to not look bad. So this is why these journeys are so profound. I'm so honored to be here with you about it, because it is the ultimate liberation. It is the ultimate path of liberation. So the first step is you recognize it. You become aware of it. You bring awareness into it. And the moment you bring awareness in, awareness itself begins the transformational process. From awareness, we start loosening the boundaries of this old map. We start literally, because it has boundaries, okay? Before, a person was stuck in that map. Now we come outside of it. We begin to loosen the boundaries, and then we guide you through a release process. During the release process, what happens is that you become aware of new learnings, distinctions that were previously outside of your awareness. All of a sudden, blind spots. How many of you could tell that there's been blind spots in the area of wealth in the past, or maybe even the area of, we're talking about wealth because it's a wealth mindset hack, but it could have been in the areas of love, self-love, okay? Different areas that impact your ability to create wealth. So there's a learning that happens here that is a huge, colossal breakthrough, like a massive breakthrough. Such a big breakthrough that people in our community describe their life before neogenesis and after neogenesis. It is like a defining moment of transformation in their life. There's many people that leave neogenesis and have changed their name because they've had like this massive epiphany and liberation of what's blocked them their whole life. They literally feel and experience it as a rebirth into the next level of their new life. That's why we call it neogenesis, a Greek word that means new beginning. So what happens is you will become aware of these learnings that that cause blind spots to completely dissolve. Now what happens is that as the blind spots dissolve and these new learnings come in, all of a sudden you begin to integrate and align with your authentic core values. The values, not the values that were conditioned through lack, limitation, fear, scarcity, not enoughness, not the values that are designed to protect you and keep you safe and make sure that there's survival, not those values that come from fear. I'm talking about the integration of the values of your highest authentic self. This is so deep. It changes your life forever. It's like cracking an egg. Once you crack an egg, you cannot uncrack the egg. The egg has been cracked. That's how powerful this is. Like you cannot go back. It is that level of deep root liberation. And then we go through different exercises to support the integration even more. So you embody your highest self in the moment of now. And one of the areas that happens in neogenesis is, here, let me give you, actually I'm going to share one case study and then I'm going to talk a little bit about core values, and then I'll share with you how you could experience this for yourself. Here's one of our amazing students. I love case studies. I would love for each of you, if you're inspired, to become one of our case studies. It's one of my greatest joys. She's a chiropractor in California, Carolyn, and she says, neogenesis was an integral part of expanding my chiropractic business. Here's the main thing, which is why I bolded and underlined it. It allowed me to let go of issues clouding my mind, business intentions, and progress. Since attending Neo, I now have a second successful chiropractic office, and I started another business helping people overcome gut issues with fermented food. This would have never happened if it wasn't for the massive breakthroughs I experienced at Neogenesis. And what I love in wealth is holistic. So you look at her and she has just this beautiful life. There she is with her husband. She's in amazing health. She's has this beautiful relationship with her children. Her children are actually now becoming chiropractors themselves because they've been so inspired by their mom. This is, oops, we're not going to go into that slide. This is the power of the transformation in action. I'm curious, who would love to become a case study? Because we're always looking for case studies where we can look at your life and literally say, when we met you, you were here. And now look what's happened. And it's a measurable, tangible growth and success. If you'd love to be a case study, I would like to know. Put yes in the chats because we pick case studies every single year. Okay, fantastic. So let me share with you a little bit about values, and then we're going to go into how I can guide you specifically through this transformational experience. I love that you guys are all putting yes, because when I want you to know, I take on your goals and your vision as if they're my own. That's how deep this is work of the soul. It's soul work that is happening. And I promise you one thing that is so powerful is that it will impact everyone around you like a ripple effect. This will literally impact your lineage. How many of you have had patterns from your ancestors that have stopped with you, where you like, you know what, there was abuse in my family, there was, addiction in my family, there was this in my family, and it was like the buck stops here, and something different happened with you. Has anybody been that? Does anybody see that there's another level of that where, let's say maybe there was patterns of scarcity, patterns of lack, patterns of limitation, okay? So the Neogenesis has this power to impact your lineage. Even ancient wisdom traditions talk about this. When you look at the original teachings in the Bible, it says the sins. Now, the word of the sins is often misunderstood. Sins is actually missing the mark. To miss the mark is the original translation of the word sin. The Bible says sins of the parents are carried down 7 generations. That's an interesting thing to contemplate, okay? So now this is a way to create this liberation, not only within you, within your children, because your children are modeling you. They're mirroring you. They're either in the pretty stage of childhood, or maybe they're adults now. But still, even if they're adults, you're their primary. Who's a parent? Let me take a look. This is going to take your parenting to another level. So I know we're talking about wealth, and this is going to positively impact your parenting. So let me give you a few insights on core values. These are all going to be in your notebook, your workbook at Neogenesis, for those of you that take the inspired action and come, okay? Values are generalizations about deep belief systems, okay? They are deeply ingrained. They can be conscious or they can be subconscious, okay? Or even unconscious. Values can change with context. Like, how many of you have been totally on a roll in a certain area of your life? Like, let's say your health and vitality. You're lean, healthy, fit, vital. You work out, you're strong, but you haven't carried over that discipline into your wealth. Or vice versa. Who's had one area in their life where they're super disciplined, super confident, super focused, but it wasn't carried over into another area? Have you had that? That's because core values are context specific, okay? Core values determine what is most important to you in life. Sometimes they're conflicting. Sometimes they conflict. That's what causes roller coaster results. Actually, before I keep telling you about the core values, let me show you how they work. This will be my final slide, and then I'm going to share with you how you could experience this impact for yourself, okay? So tell me in the chats, pick one area in your life that if I can guide you to breakthrough in this one area, when I guide you to breakthrough in this one area, it will be the ultimate game changer where you'd be like, this has been clouding your mind. You've been thinking about it way too much. Maybe you've tried to change in the past and change hasn't happened. Maybe you've tried a number of things and haven't gotten the result. If you were to pick an area of your life, someone said procrastination. Procrastination would be showing up in that area. Procrastination isn't the category. What is the category of life? Let me give you some examples of categories. Money, wealth, finances, life's purpose, relationships. Here's a big one. Relationship with myself. Okay? The relationship with yourself influences everything. How many of you can sense that there's another level of your relationship with yourself, being more healthful. Okay, so when you come to Neogenesis, the first thing, and what makes it different than everything else I teach, it is our deepest dive, immersive, transformational experience that happens over 4 days. The first thing that I do is I guide you to pick an area in your life that you want to change. Just pick one area. That area is going to become our portal. Remember, Brian talked yesterday about the power of focus? That is what we're going to focus on to create transformation through the portal of that area. Now, the good news is when you create transformation in that area, it automatically uplifts every other area. It's going to up-level every area by design. And pick the one area. Everybody pick it right now. Let me see. So self-reflection, Andrew, is likely showing up in multiple areas. So self-reflection might be a experience that's showing up in multiple areas. That might not be the category. Maybe the category is how you're relating with yourself, which includes that self-reflection. So pick one area, everyone. So I see health. So Alana, clutter is showing up in the area. So clutter is not the category itself. Pick a category. Everybody pick a category of your life that you want to change. If money's been up for you, pick money. If health has been up for you, pick health. If your physical body's been up for you, pick that. Okay, so in that category, you've been getting a result. True? Now, from a moment ago, we already said from the circles, what's determining the results you're getting? Okay, what's determining your results is your behaviors, right? What's determining your behaviors? It's your beliefs, right? What's determining your beliefs? It's your core values. Now, like I said, these core values can be conscious or unconscious. If you've been blocked in this area that you selected, I assure you there are core values that are unconscious that have been driving your life. Now, these core values are fueled by a deeper motivation. We call it a meta program. I'm not going to get too detailed into the words. If those of you want to become certified in this technology that I'm teaching, how many of you would love to go through this for your own transformation? But you'd also would love to learn these skills so that you can become certified to coach and empower others. Okay, so we offer certification. Just by coming to the courses, you earn hours towards your certification. Some people come for their own personal transformation. The certification doesn't matter to them, but you can earn those hours. Now, there's a meta program. There's over 20 meta programs. These are deeper level programs, even deeper than beliefs, that are determining how you experience the world, how you create your own experience of reality in the midst of infinite possibilities, okay? One of the 20 meta programs is that you have a meta program to either move toward something wanted, or you have a meta program to move away from something unwanted. And this distinction is huge. So let's say that someone's meta program is to move away from something unwanted. I remember I saw an interview with Oprah, and it really touched my heart because the interviewer asked her, why do you work? And she was playful. She's like, why do I work, or why do I work out? He goes, no, why do you work? And she started describing her vision, because this is her purpose, because this is her contribution, because this is her gift, because this is her reason for being here, because this is her impact. What does that sound like, the words, and I'm paraphrasing, does that sound like moving toward motivation or moving away from motivation? My purpose, my impact, my gift, my contribution. What does it sound like? Tell me in the chats. It's moving toward. It's like she's got a vision and she's being pulled towards this vision. I remember when I was 19 years old, I asked Tony Robbins, what motivates you? And he says, my vision is so big that it pulls me. That's what he said to me. Now, then the interviewer asked her, why do you work out? And she says, I work out so I don't have a fat butt. Now, when you open your mouth to speak, there's infinite possibilities, right? So what does, I do it so I don't have a fat butt. What does that sound like? Moving towards or away? Okay. When I got this model decades ago, it was mind-blowing. And after I kept having breakthroughs even after I knew this, because I got new distinctions for years to come. and this could be a breakthrough for all of you. Let me know in the chats if it is a breakthrough, is if someone's unconscious motivation is to not be here, to not be fat, to not be broke, to not have to worry about money, to not be stressed, to not be without enough. What happens is that subconsciously they start pushing away from the pain. They start pushing away from this. If you're pushing away from this, what are you giving your power to? Where's your life force energy going? So they push away from this. So they're pushing away from the pain. And because they're pushing away from it, of course, they're going up because they're pushing away. And they push away until they're far enough away from the pain. And then they unconsciously sabotage. And they lose their motivation. Why? Because the vision was not to be here. It was to not be here. Okay? It was to not be here. That's what creates roller coaster results. Is that a breakthrough for anyone? I'm curious. If it is, let me know. So how about the person, I used to do this. I used to get hired all the time to come in and guide teams in the context of sales and leadership. And I would often see someone in sales who would hit their quota and then take their foot off the gas for the rest of the month. Why? Because they had a standard. They had a thermostat that we were talking about. And the moment they hit that standard, they sabotaged for the rest of the month because it wasn't about a higher vision. It was about being in that particular status quo. So what causes this? There's three things that cause this at the deepest level, at the root. And that's what we go into in Neogenesis. The three things that cause this: number one, repressed negative emotions. And the primary ones I've already given you: anger, sadness, fear, guilt, shame, and hurt. Those are the densest frequencies. The second thing is limiting beliefs. And the third is limiting decisions. Now, what I do at Neo, which is so powerful, is on day one, we set the stage for transformation. On day two, I guide you through an incredibly powerful process to uncover and begin to loosen the core values. Here we go. The core values that have been driving your life up until now in the area that you picked. So it's very precise. And before you arrive, you get a questionnaire to share with me exactly what's going on. So you and I are in tune with what is happening with you in this area up until that moment. Okay? So I guide you through this process at the beginning where we elicit the core values that have been driving your life in this area. Not the values that you wish they were, not the values that you'd like it to be. What if I shared with you that I could sit with you for a short period of time and elicit your core values from your unconscious? And I could teach you how to do it after you've gone through it. Okay? Please do, says Melissa. I will. Okay, I will. Come to Neo. I will. So, and often what a person thinks their values are is different than what their core values actually are. Sometimes I ask the person a core values question, like, what's most important to you in life? And they say, well, success and freedom and fulfillment and contribution. But then I look at their results, and that's not what's showing up. Then the question becomes, is that really their core values, yes or no? It's what they wish their values were. But there's an incongruence. It's what they wish their values were. You will know what your values actually are by looking at what's showing up in your results. And this blows people's mind when they go, wait a minute, you think, oh my gosh, I've been valuing not getting hurt. I've been valuing staying safe. I've been valuing being secure. And that becomes a mind blow because they'd never thought, we look at successories plaques and we think of values as things like integrity and, and honesty and things like this. But values are what you have been valuing. That's what a value is. Values show where have you been investing your time, your energy, your money, your focus, your resources. The answer to that question reveals your core values. Reveals your core values. See, breakthroughs happening, okay? So the power of Neo is on day 2. I guide you to elicit your values that have been showing up in the area you picked, finances, money, whatever area you picked. And then after we elicit those values, I guide you through the most profound transformational process of any of my courses. In the other courses like Quantum Leap Your Life, we're going to release doubt. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Procrastination, things like that. Can you guys see that that's more on the surface? Very powerful, by the way. The both of them together is like amplification. Neo's what's going to go to the root. So day 2 and the beginning, or excuse me, day 3 and the beginning of day 4, actually starting at the end of day 2, is I begin to guide you through the most powerful release process using a combination of timeline therapy, timeline re-imprinting, a number of different modalities to create liberation at the deepest levels of your unconscious mind. What happens in the presence of that is it's like the clouds clearing from the sun. All of a sudden, the light of your highest self, the light of your true purpose, the light of your greatest wisdom, your highest level of wisdom, your authentic expression from your soul of who you truly are at a soul level, liberated of these obstructions, now shines through. What happens at the end of Neo is we re-elicit your values. We elicited them before you arrive, and then we elicit them after the transformation. What will happen, I assure you, is that your values will completely elevate. They will transform in alignment with your true nature, your highest self, the expression of your soul without these obstructions. Let me show you one case study of an amazing woman who has gone to Neo more than once. And this time in this, actually just listen to it and you'll see what she says about her experience. Case study.
Neo is more personally transformative. It's over here and it is a profound personal experience of transformation. Neo is where you drop down and you go into the deeper parts of your mind that you didn't even know were forming you. And the whole experience is very deep, it's very profound, and you pop out the other end. Niurka gives this amazing opportunity near the beginning of Neo and near the end of Neo to kind of pull up what your values are that are driving you in the specific area of your life. So for me, it was my relationship with myself the first time. I mean, the values at the beginning, you re-elicit themselves for yourself at the end, and they have changed. And I remember the first time being like, what is going on? Like, how did something change so deeply inside of me that my values have elevated like that in 3-4 days in an entire area of my life?
It's mind-blowing, like where she's like, what is going on? How did this happen? It's because it's that clear, which is why people describe their life before Neo and after Neo. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share with you the difference and what's coming up. And then we're going to take a little rejuvenation. Actually, then we're going to be complete with our main session. We're going to head into the VIP. Before I go into the differences between Quantum Leap Your Life and Neo. Who's excited about what I've shared with Neo? Who would love to have that type of deep, profound, transformational experience that allows the root of whatever's been blocking you to dissolve so that you step into the next stage of your purpose, your power, your prosperity, your evolution? Who would love to win? Maybe we should spin the wheel if I see some enthusiasm. Who would love to win a Neo experience? Okay, so we've got, let's see. Who would love to spin the wheel? Maggie. Let's have Maggie's raising her hand real high. Maggie E, are you ready, Maggie? Okay, give Maggie some love. She's going to spin the wheel. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Maggie gets the Supreme Confidence digital course, which is all about having supreme confidence. That one is going to really give you guidance to turn doubt into confidence. You're going to love that one. Give Maggie some love. If you guys give me some more enthusiasm, I'll spin the wheel again before the end of the main session. What do you say? Okay, awesome. So let me give you the distinctions on the difference. And then what I'd love to do is I'd love to take any questions. I want to make sure that you have all the information so that you can make the best empowered decision for you. Okay. Who's a graduate of Neogenesis? Let me take a look around the room. Who's a graduate and you've experienced a lot of benefit from this course, which is why you're back in the room right now. Okay, awesome. So as I've mentioned, let me share a few more slides and I'm going to do a couple more case studies and then I'll answer questions and then I'll share with you the difference so you really understand the difference. And I've already been explaining it. So we'll make sure you totally get the difference between Quantum Leap Your Business and Life and Neo. So as I mentioned on day one, my company is an institute of hypnotherapy. It is an institute of neuro-linguistic programming, also timeline therapy. And I'm also a practitioner of a technology called wholeness work, which is about bringing all of this into a state of wholeness, empowered, authentic, present, aware wholeness. And you're going to be guided through these experiences using these technologies. And for those of you that want to take it to the next level, you have an opportunity to have me teach it to you so that you can become certified to practice it with others as a coach, as a leader in other areas of your life. But that's the next level. I'm just planting that seed so you know that's available. So Quantum Leap Your Business and Life, write the dates down. It's July 26th and 27th. It is a total immersion 2-day experience. We're going to go from 9 a.m. okay, to 5 p.m. for 2 full days. And we've got several case studies. I wish we had time to share more case studies. They're my favorite, one of my most favorite parts of this experience. So case study, here's Andrea Lucchesi. She's a leader and she hosts her own events. She hosts her own workshops. She's a high-level coach and a business mentor. And she has her own body of work. And when she came, she was living in a fog. A few months after walking out the door, she declared her definite chief aim. That's one of the things you're going to be doing at Quantum Leap Your Business and Life. You're going to get crystal clear on your vision, crystal clear on your purpose, crystal clear on your definite chief aim. And then she realized that her goal that she wrote down was 250,000. Not only was she going to hit it, but she was going to far surpass it. Okay. And now she has 2 beautiful babies with her beautiful husband, RJ, and they live in California. So, and then Neogenesis, so that's Business Quantum Leap, and I'm going to share with you the difference here. Let me pull up this slide, actually. Okay. Here's the difference between these 2 experiences. Okay. And they're awesome to take together because by taking them together, it amplifies the impact. Quantum Leap Your Business and Life is happening in July. Neogenesis, as I mentioned earlier, is happening November 7th through the 10th. So Quantum Leap Your Business and Life is a 2-day immersive transformational experience. Neogenesis is a 4-day total immersion experience. Okay. And at Quantum Leap Your Business and Life, you're going to create your vision, your higher purpose, your definite chief aim blueprint. I'm going to guide you to transform disempowering mindsets, habits, and behaviors on the spot. Okay. You're going to learn to dissolve self-doubt, but not only learn it, I'm going to guide you through it. You're going to experience it to successful completion. You're going to transform self-doubt, procrastination, overwhelm, and boredom is a bonus. If you want to add that one in, we could transform boredom. And I'm going to guide you to anchor empowering states. Who would love to have an anchor to call forth states of confidence, clarity, unstoppable focused action on the spot? Yesterday, Kamal in our VIP room was talking about his empowering anchors and how he's learned them and how he practices them consistently and the impact that they've had. You're going to receive that at Quantum Leap Your Business and Life. You're also going to get a confidential questionnaire. Okay. You're going to get a workbook of all the experiences. Every technique that I guide you through, you're going to get a script. So you're going to receive the script so you know step by step what the process of transformation is. Also, you're going to get a dashboard that's going to have all of your replays. Okay, Quantum Leap Your Business and Life has replays. Neogenesis, because of the very deep nature of diving into the unconscious, does not have replays. Okay, we never offer replays at Neogenesis. So you do get replays though at Quantum Leap Your Business and Life, replays of the whole experience. You're also going to get a bonus How many of you would love to have my 2-day sales mastery course? Since we're talking about wealth, and one key aspect of wealth is to maximize and learn how to master sales, the art of selling. Brian talked about that yesterday. Who would love to have my 2-day sales mastery course as a replay that you could revisit anytime? Okay, this was a 2-day course that people invested in, came for 2 days. You're going to get the replays. That's a bonus that's going to be included. And optional, you can earn hours towards your certification to become a practitioner of NLP if that's important to you. In a moment, I'm going to tell you our special offers because we put something super special together for you. And if the team can drop the link to me personally, don't drop the link yet to everyone. I'm going to keep it as a surprise. Just drop it to me personally here on the chats because I'm going to open that link in a moment. And then I'm going to share with you the difference with Neogenesis. And I want to make sure everybody gets the difference. So Quantum Leap Your Business and Life, we're going to release the areas that I've just said. At Neo, we're going to go all the way to the root. We're going to go to the root of releasing negative emotions, anger, sadness, fear, guilt, shame. We're going to dissolve limiting beliefs, limiting decisions at the root. I'm going to give you a process to transform and dissolve anxiety. And then the core values alignment that we just talked about, that's what's going to happen. So it's going to liberate your subconscious mind at the deepest level to create a new beginning in your life. Before you come on both of these courses, okay, you're going to get a confidential questionnaire. This confidential questionnaire, I've mentioned a few times, it is so deep because it gives you an opportunity to share things with me that you may never have shared with people before. It's held in trust and love with zero judgment, okay? There's people that share things on those questionnaires they've never shared with anyone, and that creates an opening for massive breakthroughs. And then the other thing you're going to get as a bonus when you come to Neogenesis is I'm going to give you the replays to an event that I led earlier this year called Manifest Your Vision. So that when you have this new beginning, you have this bonus replay to begin manifesting the grandest vision for your life. So in a moment, I'm going to share with you what these special offers are that we have. And we may spin the wheel one more time if I see a lot of enthusiasm in the room. Now, before I do that, let me ask you this. Are there any questions specifically about Quantum Leap Your Business and Life or about Neogenesis or about the difference between them? Actually, I'm going to play one more case study. And then I'll take any questions. I'm going to play this one case study. And let me tell you about this case study with this gentleman who's a very successful entrepreneur. He's a builder. He builds homes. His company is a home building company. When I met him, I was on tour with Tony Robbins all over Canada. And I was doing the event and I was signing books in the back. And he was walking out of the room and he was actually not going to sign up. And I saw him and I called him over and we had a conversation. And I said, hey, listen, take action, come to Neogenesis. And he said to me, oh, well, I just signed up for this whole block of Tony Robbins courses. You know, I don't know if I'm going to go. And I looked at him and I said, I don't remember exactly what I said. And I called him to action to come. And I looked him in the eyes and I said, trust me and come. And he came. And here's what he says about the experience. And then if you have any questions that you'd like to ask me, because I want to make sure you're super clear. I see Jim's got a question and I'll take that question in just a moment, Jim. So give me a second to show this video and then I'll take the question. Everyone, if you have a question, put your hand emoji up because I want to make sure I respond to all of your questions. Check out what Don said about his Neo experience. And after he ended up going to Neo, he ended up doing all of our courses because of the impact that it made, and he brought his kids.
My experience has been amazing. So I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan. I bought his book, Unlimited Power, when I was 19 and followed Tony for years. And I went to Vancouver for the one-day event, and Niurka spoke for about 45 minutes. And I bought tickets for her one-day event. So I brought my kids, and my kids absolutely loved it. They wanted to go to both Neo and Sia. So they'll be going this year. Neo was a huge breakthrough for me. It got to the underlying causes of what was going on, like deep down. I just had breakthrough after breakthrough. I went to Sia shortly thereafter, and I've implemented all those tools into my business. It's just been absolutely incredible. So, I mean, my investment probably come back about 300 plus times from the courses. You can't put into words. Your events are by far the best I've ever been to. I've been to ESI, I've been to Hoffman, I've been to all of Tony's events. Niurka plays full out, 1,000%. And, one of the biggest things, like, we invest in our cars, we invest in so many other things. When's the last time you invested in yourself? And make that investment. I can't imagine what my life would be like if we hadn't stopped and I hadn't decided to go to the course. And I had actually booked another full block of Tony courses. And, I just knew I had to be there, completely transform my life. And so make that investment in yourself, your kids, your family, whatever you can do. It's a community. The friends around the room here, like lifetime friends, you can't even put it into words. You got to do it.
People have a hard time putting it into words. Okay. How many of you could feel the energy in his heart while he's sharing that experience? And when he says, I can't imagine what my life would be like if we hadn't stopped and had that conversation. So I'm sharing with you that this is a life-defining moment. It is that significant, okay? Like when you take action and come to Neil, your life will open up in ways that are greater than what you can imagine. And if someone decides not to go, that's a different trajectory of life. That's how powerful this is. It is a life-defining moment. So let me take a few questions. Neogenesis, I gave you the dates. The team will put the dates. It's, what is the dates? November 7th through the 10th, is it? And November 7th through the 10th. It is a live, virtual, total immersion experience. So what that means is you can join from anywhere in the world. Okay, we're going to go from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's a little bit longer. So 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it is Pacific time. And like I said, before you arrive, you live in the UK, what's the time difference? I don't know. You could look it up or the team could look it up for you. You could look it up on the internet. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time for 4 days. How many of you could see that when we have 4 full days? That's going to be a game changer. Okay. Awesome. So Jim, I saw you had your hand up and
yeah.
Yes.
Initially I put it up to do the giveaway, but the other thing was I think answered my question, and it's virtual. You don't
Yes.
have to be there in person.
Yes, it's virtual, which is super convenient, super amazing. Every few years we sometimes decide to do it in person unless we don't. The convenience of virtual is awesome because you get the full entire transformational experience from the comfort of your own home. It's the exact same course that we do when we do it in person.
Now, what's the cost between the two items?
Yep, I'm going to share with you right now. Let me take Olaf's question and then I'll share with you the special offers
Thank you.
put together for you. You got it. Go ahead, Olaf.
Well, actually, it was the same. I was, thank you.
You're welcome.
I love the matching, the outfit and the earrings. It's nice.
Okay, so I appreciate that. Let's be focused and purposeful with it because we have limited time. So if there's specific questions about the course, I'm here fully and completely to answer any questions about the courses specifically.
Okay, when is this going to be in person?
It's not on the schedule, so it might not be for several years. Actually, I don't know if I'll do it in person again right now because the direction that the world is going right now is virtual. The only course we have in person right now is I'm taking, which we're not going to talk about the details in this. If you want, maybe at the end of the VIP, I'll share it in the VIP. I'm taking a group to Bali, Indonesia in 2027. So that is a live experience that is happening. But Neogenesis for the next few years is scheduled to happen virtual. So don't miss it because it's not going to happen again for another, year plus.
Okay, one other question.
Yes.
About the assignment. I did not know where to send it in, and I couldn't.
Okay, so let's do this. We'll talk about that in the VIP room because right now we're focused.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll be happy to respond to all those questions in the VIP room. Thank you, Olaf.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. So who's ready for special offers? Should I spin the wheel before or after? What do you think? You guys are like both. Spin it both times, before and after. Let me do the special offers and then I'll spin the wheel one more time. And then I've got one final case study that's less than a minute that I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's the special offers. Drum roll, please. And before I even show them to you, I want you to know I've put together the best offers to inspire you to take action today before midnight tonight. So these are the best offers that we have. You're not going to get these offers outside of this experience. So now is the time to take action. So who's already registered, by the way? Who's already coming to Neo, or you've been to Neo before? Take a look by show of hands. Awesome. So several of you are already in, coming, and or coming for the first time. Okay. So Neo Genesis, anytime you go on our website, you could always buy Neo Genesis. Like I said, it's live virtual November 7th through the 10th. The investment of the course is $49.97, $4,997. And I'm guiding you, like I said, every step of the way. You've got that questionnaire. It's coming to me. So while I'm guiding the room, I know exactly where you are based on everything you've shared in that questionnaire. You get the full Neo Genesis manual. Okay, and I'm going to guide you through everything I've already shared with you, and you have the opportunity to become certified, and you get this bonus. The investment when you take action today is only $24.97. $24.97, and I'm going to do something to make it even more exciting. Who's got somebody in their life that they would love to share this powerful experience with, who has never heard of my work or hasn't been to any of my courses? Who's got somebody in your life that has not been to one of our introductory events? Let me take a look. Who's got somebody they'd love to share this with? Okay. When you take action by midnight tonight, you get to bring a special guest with you that is new to the community. In other words, this is someone who's new. They've not received our emails or anything of this nature. And the reason why we do this is to give back and expand what's possible through this work. So take action by midnight tonight. The team is going to drop the links right now, so you have the links. When you take action by midnight Pacific time, you're going to get a guest ticket, and the investment is only $24.97. Let me say this other thing. I know so deeply how powerful this will be for your life that this event is 100% guaranteed. Let me tell you what 100% guaranteed means. It means show up, play full out with your cameras on. You got to play full out with your camera on. If by noon on day 3, or excuse me, not even that. If by the end of day 3, we'll get you all the way to the end of day 3. If by the end of day 3, you, for whatever reason, you don't feel you've gotten your value's worth, just let my team know. We'll reimburse 100% of your investment. So you have nothing to lose except your limiting beliefs. Okay, that's the only thing you got to lose. Nothing to lose except your limiting beliefs. So it is 100% guaranteed. The other thing that we're doing, which we're doing it because we love you and we care about you, is we do have an installment plan that has 0 interest or admin fees. And the installment plan goes for 7 months, which means we're even giving you an extra 2 months after you've completed the course to complete your installments, because we want to support you if finances has been a challenge. If it's not a challenge, please just pay in full. It's easier for us. We're not a finance company. We do this because we care about you, and we want to make sure we give everyone the opportunity to come. How awesome is that? I got to tell you, I don't know anybody else in my field who is offering installment plans with 0 admin fees past the completion of the course. Do you? Does anybody else know anybody else doing that? I don't know anybody else doing that. I'm doing that because I want you to feel absolute certainty in your investment that you're going to receive precisely what you came to receive and even more with 0 risk. How awesome is that? So the team will drop the link one more time. Take action now. Click that link. Reserve your spot. I'll tell you the other thing I'll do. The first 3 people who take action, I'm going to send you an autographed book in the mail. One of the original copies of Supreme Influence, the original edition, okay? For the first 3 people who take action, I'm going to send you that as a gift, and I'm going to write you a little love note in the book. So you got a little love note in there too, okay? The next course, and then I'll take any final questions before we head over to the VIP room, okay? The next one is Quantum Leap Your Business and Life. Quantum Leap Your Business and Life is July 26th and 27th. It is a 2-day total immersion course. questionnaire. This one, you do get the replays, like I've said, and I'm going to guide you right there to clarify your definite chief aim, your purpose, your vision. I'm going to guide you right on the spot to transform disempowering habits, mindsets, behaviors, overwhelm, procrastination, self-doubt. That's all going to happen at Quantum Leap Your Business and Life. The best thing to do is to do them both. Doing them both together amplifies your impact, and you're going to get sales mastery as a bonus. So this is over $3,000 for this course. When you look at the investment, it's a $2,000 course. Plus, this is my time for sitting down with your questionnaire, reviewing it in detail, uninterrupted time with you before you even arrive, all the replays, and the bonus. Your investment when you take action today is only $497. That's it. $497. And when you take action by midnight tonight, you're also able to bring a guest who is new to our community. So you get to share it with your friends, your team, loved ones, people in your life, somebody who's new to this conversation, because we're all about building and empowering communities. Yes, and you get sales mastery, okay? So whoever, does anybody have any questions? Quantum Leap Your Business and Life is also guaranteed. If by noon on day 2, you don't feel you got your values worth, you could talk to my team and we'll give you a refund on your money. That's not going to happen because this course and all of our courses are going to over deliver on what I'm going to talk on, everything I'm sharing with you today. I'm just sharing that so you know that you have zero risk. The only thing to lose is your self-doubt, procrastination, and things that don't serve you. All right, everyone, who's fired up about these experiences? Okay. Who's ready to join us? Who wants to spin the wheel? Okay, so take action right now. The team will drop the link one more time. Like I said, the first 3 people who take action are going to receive a gift in the mail of my book. So who's excited? You got to show me your enthusiasm with your body. All right, I'm going to pick Scott Christopher over here. Scott, I'm picking you. Are you ready? All right, let's go. You got to get clarity in your intention. $250, Niurka bucks. So you get to apply those $250 towards Quantum Leap Your Business and Life, which makes it only about $250. And you get to bring a guest. Isn't that a smoking deal? Or you get to apply it towards Neogenesis or any offer that we have. All right, everyone, is there any final questions? Because in about a minute, we're going to close the main room and we're going to head over to the VIP room. If you have not yet registered for the VIP, you can still do it. My team will put the links in if you want to join us in the VIP room. We're able to go deeper there. And if you have any questions about either of these courses, you can ask right now, or my team will stick around for about another 5 minutes after we close the session to make sure all the questions are answered. Who's excited to join us? Let me see by show of hands. Who's excited to come be a part of this? Awesome. Take action. Allow me to coach you. I promise you it will be an experience that will empower your life, your wealth, your relationships, everything, to rise to the heights that I know you're destined for. Lori, question about the courses. Unmute yourself, Lori.
I got it. I was looking for the unmute button.
Yep. Go ahead.
I'm really excited about this because I wanted to go to Quantum Leap, and I also want to go to Neogenesis as well, because my business, I am definitely on a roller coaster. And right now I'm at the bottom. And I know it's driven by core values and beliefs.
Totally.
So my question is, how do I enroll for Quantum Leap using the bucks, the Niurka bucks that I got?
Awesome. So what I would invite you to do is register for Neogenesis, because you could do that right now, because that's what I'm hearing, and then send an email to the team so that they can support you in applying those Niurka bucks. Okay. The team is here right now, so they already know that this is what you want. So Pedro on our team will reach out to you and make sure that you could apply those Niurka bucks towards your Quantum Leap Your Business and Life.
Okay.
Yeah. And then take action on Neo.
So do I also, do I just fill out the form? Or
yes.
just,
So
Okay.
Yes. So the first thing I would encourage you to do is the team's going to drop the link one more time. Okay. And then,
I'm already there.
yep, they're already there. And then
Yeah.
I would click on it and register for Neogenesis right now. So you get that one in. And then reach out to Pedro at info@Niurka Inc., INFO at Niurka Inc., and he'll make sure that you could apply your Niurka bucks right away.
Okay.
You got it. Congratulations. I'm thrilled you're coming. Awesome. All right. It's good to apply Niurka bucks. Okay. One final case study, and then we're moving to the VIP room. So this is Troy Hoffman. When Troy came to me, he was overweight. He was struggling financially, and he kept showing up to the courses, kept showing up to the courses, kept showing up to the courses. He had massive breakthroughs, lost the weight, and his business skyrocketed. Here's a video of him. His company became one of the fastest growing companies in Inc. 500 3 times over. He became so successful in business that I've invited him to be a guest speaker in my leadership courses and events. So he started as a student, and he's actually shared the stage with me. How many of you guys would like to share the stage with me? Okay. This started as him being a student and then rising over the years. And then here's what Troy says about taking action and coming to the Neogenesis experience. Actually, I'm going to make sure that we have sound on this before I share it with you. It'll be our final video, and then we're heading into VIP.
If you feel that calling, like, oh, this is interesting, I feel like this might be something, yes, take the leap, do it. Like, this is your opportunity, because it's that voice inside of you that's guiding you. Spend the money, spend the time, do the investment, because you're going to be a different person by the time you come out. The only thing that's going to change is right here, and it's not going to happen unless you and get in the right environments, get with the right training, get with the right leaders, and that's where Niurka is a very specific gift, has a very specific tool. She's a very specific set of tools that she can use that transform people's lives. And it's not like the first time she's done this. I mean, but Niurka's been doing this for a very long time. She's very talented at what she does. She's very precise. I mean, I think you've been doing this since you were 18, so I'm not going to say anything else, but like, she's been doing it a while, and she's impactful when you get around her. I mean, at that level of depth, I mean, and you're all day, all night doing this stuff, it's a different game. It just is.
So Troy's whole life changed. And I mean, he's gone from being in a community to becoming a student. Now he's a dear friend. Matter of fact, he was just texting me, and his success is extraordinary. He doesn't have to work. He does it because he wants to. He's financially free. And this has been a journey for him. He's an embodiment of what we're talking about in the Wealth Mindset Hack. So he's, like I said, he's shared the stage. He's been a featured guest speaker in our membership program. And it is a joy and an honor to be part of your continued evolution. All right, everyone. So take action. Team's going to drop the link. Make sure you do it by midnight tonight, because you could get that extra gift to give it to someone. You could be a blessing in someone's life, the ultimate blessing in someone's life. And we're going to go into the VIP room in 15 minutes. So VIP is starting a few minutes later than planned. And we will see you all in the VIP room in 15 minutes. If you have any questions about the courses only, specifically, stick around and my team will answer any final questions. But we'll see you in the VIP room. Let's see at 1:15. And unmute yourself. Let's hear your beautiful voices from around the world.
Woohoo! Thank you, teacher. Thanks so much, Niurka.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.